Okay, so what is a stakeholder? A stakeholder is anyone who is affected by the project or impacted by the project, either through the running of the project or through the outcome at the end, the product. It can be different departments if they're impacted by the project, finance, for example, procurement. It could even be the end user. These all need to be considered as stakeholders within your project. Hello, Lesley Greening here with another video on project management points. Now for this video I would like to discuss stakeholder management. Now there's a lot of problems sometimes in projects with communications and sometimes it's not clear as to why these communications occur, and especially if you've gone into a project when it's already started and you don't know what processes have been set up and that. If you've got a problem with communications, and also if there's a problem with requirements, if you keep getting more and more requirements coming through, it's generally because of stakeholder management. There's 5 points that you really need to remember, and number 1 is identify the stakeholders early. You identify them in the initiation stage. Now, I've been in some projects where they're not identified, not properly, until getting on for the design phase. So you've gone through the planning phase and they're still not identified. So you need to identify them and also engage them early. They may not be involved early on, but if you engage them by just letting them know that the work's coming and that this will be happening, then they can be prepared. Now, that brings us on to item 2, which is setting up a register. Now, you set up the register so you can log these stakeholders you've identified, and you must revise it regularly. Don't just put names in a register and then forget about it. That's not going to help. So you set up the register and just keep adding to it as you realise that there's more stakeholders, then just add to it. And you can set specific times to revise it or to review it to see whether you've got everything you need in there. Maybe you can put it as an action item in one of the project meetings. So that brings us on to the 3rd item, which is once you've got your register set up, establish what type of stakeholder you've got. How powerful are they? How influential are they? How much interest do they have in the project? Are they going to be advocates of the project, or are they going to put hurdles in your way? All of this is important to know how to deal with these stakeholders. And that takes us on to the 4th point, which is managing your stakeholders. So once you've established the type, then you know how to manage them. That takes us on to number 5, which is communication. Now, communication, there's 2 types in a way, that what to communicate and how to communicate. So the how to communicate is for things like, are you going to send them emails for the information? Is it going to be meetings? Are they just going to have meeting minutes? You need to establish how you're going to communicate to them. And there's also what they call a RACI. Now this is a matrix which can really help for communicating within a project team, because there's often people saying, well, I should have seen that, and there's others saying, I don't know why I keep getting all this information. So by establishing a RACI matrix, this will help to include the people that need to be included for each deliverable that you need. So the RACI stands for responsible, accountable, consult and inform. And some people have added one called quality review, which is something to consider. So in a RACI, you would have your stakeholder either names or titles or job roles along the top for the columns, and down on the rows you would have the deliverables, maybe the project charter, the PMP, design, concept design, whatever deliverable that is out of your project plan or your project schedule. You can list down aside and you can say who has what responsibility or what action with that particular deliverable. For example, the project charter, you would have underneath the project manager that he's responsible for drafting it. You could also say he's accountable for it. The executive, the project executive or the project director would just be accountable for it. Then you'd have others like special matter experts. You can also have people like subject matter experts who need to be consulted on it, where they give their input, they review it, give their input, and the project charter is updated. Then there are those that just need to be informed. And that's the same for all the deliverables. So it just helps to clarify all the communications, who needs to be communicated and how. So this is something that really needs to be set up right at the beginning, and then you just revise it as a living document all the way through your project. So I hope this has helped clarify any issues you might be having within your communications, within your project team. And I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Thank you for now.